The Bernafon Encanta 400 Pros were recently described as perfect. So, this was by a lady who had her other Swiss hearing aids sent away to have their batteries replaced and a service. And when we asked her how she'd gotten on with the Bernafon aids that she'd asked to borrow while they were away, that was the description. They were perfect. Another patient recently described them as fuller and more natural sounding. And he had another premium pair of hearing aids from a very well known manufacturer. So the aids seem to have impressed a lot of people. They just seem straightforward. There's another Swiss brand where it can get a bit bamboozling, the different chargers, the different form factors, just not fully knowing as the audiologist all the offerings available. Whereas with the Encanta range, there's four performance levels. Most people dealing with Zone 1 usually go for the top one, so it makes it nice and simple. The top aid compared to their lower mid range apparently performs 19% better in noise. And they're one of these kind of set and forget type of aids where you just kind of put them in and forget about them. The aids have got movement sensors where they adapt and adjust to the environment and make intelligent decisions on the speech to follow. So, do we love absolutely everything about them? Well, there is no equivalent in the ear version to this behind the ear receiver in the canal style. So you're probably a couple of generations back with Bernafon, and there isn't a rechargeable version. So that could be improved, definitely. There isn't, as there is with their sister company, which is Oticon, a power bank charger. You're just having to rely, admittedly, on the quick bedside table charger. You can't, in the office, so the clinic office, change the battery out, which was actually one of the selling points of previous generation Oticon and Bernafon hearing aids. So as hearing aid batteries inevitably do over time, they start to reduce. So you might start with, say, 18 hours a day, which is great. And then over time, it starts to dwindle down where maybe you're not getting through the entire day. Now, we would have to, if that did happen with these, we would have to send them away. But I'll just look at my little notes. The only other thing I would just say is quite conservative colours. The colours are a little bit kind of, a bit basic, nothing particularly flashy. But overall, a really good solid aid. They sound great. They're smaller than the predecessor. They're quick to charge. They've up to now been very reliable. People seem to love the sound, even when they're pitted against what you would classify as more premium or even higher spec rivals. So yeah, we've been very impressed with the Encanta. So that's the final thing. Just remembered one more point. The ACT test. So this is a special test that you do predominantly for Oticon and Bernafon. You can do it for any hearing aid, but what it gives you is a non-language dependent score. That score is then fed into the programming software. When you feed it in, it tells you tells the aid precisely how much noise reduction to apply. So a very sort of, if you like, scientific and precise way of setting up the hearing aids. And then finally, you've got a new facility within the real ear measurements to show you when you've reached the optimum point with the tubes that are used to measure the sound. So this is really good because, again, we're talking about scientific clinical evidence and precision and just a very nice, simple, straightforward aid.